I thought it might be fun to try to do some iron mordanted silk that has already been dyed. Now, this could go terribly wrong and blacken everything. To try to prevent that, I am going to treat these with retain in hot water one more time in hopes that they will hold their color and not just instantly sadden the moment I dip them into an iron mordant. I'm going to use eucalyptus leaf because I know it's a known excellent printer, and I have some really good dried eucalyptus leaves on my porch. And we will see what we get and see if we can get this to print onto already colored silks, because why not? I also thought it would be fun to try and print onto some shibori fabric that just wasn't super interesting. So why not? We will mordant them in iron and use eucalyptus as well, because I have some nice eucalyptus leaves that are known good printers. So we'll give it a try. a first look at the Shibori, and I'm sorry the color is off. We're on my nighttime indoor light, which is very yellow. We had varying levels of success here. I think fresh leaves would have helped me a lot because some of the leaves printed better than others, depending on if they were up or down. And the super saturated dyes that are tannin rich, like the cochineal, which is an acid dye technically because it's cochineal acid. This is Kutch. The other ones that didn't work were the Kutch and another one that I had saddened with iron previously. So it looks like the dyes that are not acid-based and even the Saxon blue and the chlorophyllin dye took really cool prints, and I think you could get some really fun stuff if you did grids with leaves over them. I'm really impressed with the Saxon too. That one deserves another try because look at where the cracks are. That's where the dried leaves broke, and they got much better prints. So this deserves a total revisit, and I'm so glad to prove out this theory. I'll show you a review when they're all dry, and I will show you the failed ones. Okay, so excuse the fan noise, but here we are looking at our pre-dyed silks and pre-Shibori dyed silks that we then tried to leaf print onto. We can see that the ones that were very, very tannin rich to start with, very little happened, if anything at all. They had taken up all the tannins that they could. No amount of iron mordant was going to help. The cochineal actually did have some results, and I will probably want to revisit that one because I just didn't have very fresh leaves. And you can see here where some leaves got really excellent prints and other leaves didn't. And that was due to the dryness of the leaf. But you can see onto the goldenrod, we got some really nice prints. Onto the Shibori fabric, we got some really nice prints. And we didn't try to REmordant any of this, and we could still do that. So let me pull up the last couple samples from this experiment for us to look at. Now, I did put some thought into this because I knew that the silk would take on a leaf print no matter what, even if it wasn't mordanted, so I didn't REmordant anything. I knew that both the microphyllin dye, meaning the green one from the mulberry, and the Saxon blue were pretty impervious to iron. Both of those you can't sadden with iron, you can't really affect them in any way, except by what you put under them as a dye. So that's the only way you can affect those. So I figured that iron mordanting them would work, and it did. And again, I think what we ran into here is just that I used old leaves. They were just really too dried out. So anywhere that the leaf was not bum down, with the veins down, you can see where it just didn't quite work. But we got some great data from here, and we can apply it to future experiments. We could potentially try to REmordant these and see if the Shibori is affected by being REmordanted in alum, and then you can try to print on it again. But we got a lot of good data, and as anything, everything's a success because we got new info and we've increased our neural net. I hope you will come on all of my other experiments with me and consider coming and becoming a Weaverbird with the rest of the 1,000 other stitchers and fiber artists who are all joined together on Facebook in our little Patreon community. There's not 1,500 patrons, but that would be very cool. I would have a much easier life if that was the case. So please consider checking out the links below, and thank you to all my patrons. Specifically, I will thank Sarah P. this episode, who has been an absolute champ supporting me through this. So I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!